engineering is a dynamic field with a constantly evolving landscape. Reading books can help software engineers stay updated, enhance their skills, and deepen their understanding of various aspects of software development. Today, I will give you some important books for software engineers. It helps you to improve your knowledge. This book I9 set 3 categories. That is programming and coding, algorithms and data structures, software architecture, testing and quality assurance, web development, databases, DevOps and continuous integration, software engineering practices and culture. Now, I will describe our first category, which is programming and coding. It is the entry level of a programmer. In this category, I define 3 books. Our first book's name is Code Complete, a practical handbook of software construction by Steve McConnell. Widely considered one of the best practical guides to programming, Steve McConnell's original Code Complete has been helping developers write better software for more than a decade. Now this classic book has been fully updated and revised with leading-edge practices and hundreds of new code samples illustrating the art and science of software construction, capturing the body of knowledge available from research, academia, and everyday commercial practice. McConnell synthesizes the most effective techniques and must-know principles into clear, pragmatic guidance. No matter what your experience level, development environment, or project size, this book will inform and stimulate your thinking and help you build the highest quality code. I don't know how much more I can say about this book that hasn't been said already, but I will do my best to describe my experience with this book. Have you ever looked at a class or a method that seems to work fine, but it just doesn't feel right? For some reason it seems as if that method or class may be hard to debug in the future, or that the code is hard to understand. Or have you gone back to a class file you wrote months ago, and you spend an awful lot of time trying to figure out what the heck is going on with that class file? Maybe the methods in the class are spaghetti-like in nature, or maybe the names of your methods don't have a very good description, so it's hard to figure out how everything ties together. I have had this problem. This book will teach you how to get out of those habits. You will learn what a solid class or method looks like. You will learn how properly naming your classes and methods can greatly reduce complexity in the long run. Everything is backed by hard evidence. I should also mention that this is just one chapter in this wonderful book. This book really drills down proper programming practices. A lot of times you may read a passage and think to yourself, well, of course. But then you realize you don't practice what's contained in the passage you just read. This book is great for both new programmers and experienced programmers alike. New programmers benefit greatly because they will learn how to construct software properly, without having to go through all of the hoops. Experienced programmers will also learn a great deal, as well as be reminded that some of the habits that they've developed over the years can hinder production and cause software development to become more complex than it really is. Steve writes in a very clean style. It's very easy to read. You don't need to memorize anything in a book like this. Instead, you just need to gain an understanding of the concepts he brings forth. After reading this book, I definitely followed a lot of his advice. When I build a new class, method or what have you, I get a certain feeling of when it seems right and when something seems wrong. I am now much better at analyzing my code and figuring out what doesn't seem correct, and I take the advice I learned in this book to help me to figure out and correct the problem. After reading this book, I feel like a lot of my rough edges as a developer have been rounded out. I feel as if I gained a year's worth of experience just by reading this book. This book is friendly for any software developer. The concepts he presents apply to all languages. This is a book that teaches you how to think about programming better and how to construct good solid code. This is one of the best books I've ever read. If you're even thinking about buying this book, then buy it. My second book is The Pragmatic Programmer. Dave Thomas and Andy Hunt wrote the first edition of this influential book in 1999 to help their clients create better software and rediscover the joy of coding. These lessons have helped a generation of programmers examine the very essence of software development, independent of any particular language, framework, or methodology, and the pragmatic philosophy has spawned hundreds of books, screencasts, and audiobooks, as well as thousands of careers and success stories. Now, 20 years later, This new edition re-examines what it means to be a modern programmer. Topics range from personal responsibility and career development to architectural techniques for keeping your code flexible and easy to adapt and reuse. All the old favorite topics are there, updated for this new world. And there's a bunch of new content, reflecting what we've learned in the intervening years. Whether you're a new coder, an experienced programmer, or a manager responsible for software projects, use these lessons daily, and you'll quickly see improvements in personal productivity, accuracy, and job satisfaction. You'll learn skills and develop habits and attitudes that form the foundation for long-term success in your career. You'll become a pragmatic programmer. This audiobook is organized as a series of sections, each containing a series of topics. It is read by Anna Katerina, Dave, and Andy jump in every now and then to give their take on things. While, admittedly, I haven't finished the book so far, this book has contained wisdom a reader might have come across at school, from senior developers, or from books such as Robert C. Martin's Clean Code. However, while some of the wisdom and knowledge might cross over in a Venn diagram with Clean Code, there's some great advice here that's worth putting into practice. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, to each his own, but I've found much that makes this book worth owning. My second department is algorithms and data structures, and only one book I referred to. This book's name is Introduction to Algorithms by Thomas H. Corman. Some books on algorithms are rigorous but incomplete. Others cover masses of material, but lack rigor. Introduction to Algorithms uniquely combines rigor and comprehensiveness. The book covers a broad range of algorithms in depth, yet makes their design and analysis accessible to all levels of readers. Each chapter is relatively self-contained and can be used as a unit of study. The algorithms are described in English and in a pseudocode, designed to be readable by anyone who has done a little programming. The explanations have been kept elementary without sacrificing depth of coverage or mathematical rigor. The first edition became a widely used text in universities worldwide, as well as the standard reference for professionals. The second edition featured new chapters on the role of algorithms, probabilistic analysis and randomized algorithms, and linear programming. The third edition has been revised and updated throughout. It includes 2 completely new chapters on Van Emd Boas trees and multi-threaded algorithms, substantial additions to the chapter on recurrence, and an appendix on matrices. It features improved treatment of dynamic programming and greedy algorithms, and a new notion of edge-based flow in the material on flow networks. Many exercises and problems have been added to this edition. This book's name is Software Architecture and Practice, updated with 11 new chapters. Software Architecture and Practice, 4th edition, thoroughly explains what software architecture is, why it's important, and how to design, instantiate, analyze, evolve, and manage it in disciplined and effective ways. 3 renowned software architects cover the entire life cycle, presenting practical guidance, expert methods, and tested models for use in any project. No matter how complex, you'll learn how to use architecture to address accelerating growth in requirements, system size, and abstraction, and to manage emergent quality attributes as systems are dynamically combined in new ways. With insights for utilizing architecture to optimize key quality attributes including performance, modifiability, security, availability, interoperability, testability, usability, deployability, and more. This guide explains how to manage and refine existing architectures, transform them to solve new problems, and build reusable architectures that become strategic business assets. Discover how architecture influences technical environments, project life cycles, business. Leverage proven patterns, interfaces, and practices for optimizing quality through architecture. Architect for mobility, the cloud, machine learning, and quantum computing. Design for increasingly crucial attributes such as energy efficiency and safety. Scale systems by discovering architecturally significant influences, using DevOps and deployment pipelines, and managing architecture debt. Understand architecture's role in the organization, so you can deliver more value. Register your book for convenient access to downloads, updates, and/or corrections as they become available. See inside the book for details. I was very impressed with this book. It's underrated. I've read many software architecture books before that weren't practical. This one definitely is. He makes it easy to apply any parts of this you want to your projects. There's a lot here, so don't worry if you can't use all of it. This book's name is Testing Computer Software, capturing a wealth of experience in the design of object-oriented software. Four top-notch designers present a catalog of simple and succinct solutions to commonly occurring design problems. Previously undocumented, these 23 patterns allow designers to create more flexible, elegant, and ultimately reusable designs without having to rediscover the design solutions themselves. The authors begin by describing what patterns are and how they can help you design object-oriented software. They then go on to systematically name, explain, evaluate, and catalog recurring designs in object-oriented systems. With design patterns as your guide, you will learn how these important patterns fit into the software development process and how you can leverage them to solve your own design problems most efficiently. Each pattern describes the circumstances in which it is applicable, when it can be applied in view of other design constraints, and the consequences and trade-offs of using the pattern within a larger design. All patterns are compiled from real systems and are based on real-world examples. Each pattern also includes code that demonstrates how it may be implemented in object-oriented programming languages, like C++ or Smaltec. This book isn't an introduction to object-oriented technology or design. Many books already do a good job of that. This isn't an advanced treatise either. It's a book of design patterns that describe simple and elegant solutions to specific problems in object-oriented software design. Once you understand the design patterns and have had an aha, and not just a experience with them, you won't ever think about object-oriented design in the same way. You'll have insights that can make your own designs more flexible, modular, reusable, and understandable, which is why you're interested in object-oriented technology in the first. This book's name is Mythical Man Month. The Essays on Software Engineering. Few books on software project management have been as influential and timeless as the Mythical Man Month. With a blend of software engineering facts and thought-provoking opinions, Fred Brooks offers insight for anyone managing complex projects. These essays draw from his experience as a project manager for the IBM System 360 computer family, and then for OS 360. Its massive software system. Now, 20 years after the initial publication of his book, Brooks has revisited his original ideas and added new thoughts and advice, both for readers already familiar with his work and for readers discovering it for the first time. The added chapters contain: Number 1. A crisp condensation of all the propositions asserted in the original book, including Brooks' central argument in the Mythical Man Month, that large programming projects suffer management problems different from small ones due to the division of labor, that the conceptual integrity of the product is therefore critical, and that it is difficult but possible to achieve this unity. Number 2. Brooks' view of these propositions a generation later. Number 3. A reprint of his classic 1986 paper, No Silver Bullet. And Number 4. Today's thoughts on the 1986 assertion, there will be no silver bullet within 10 years. In my opinion, understanding the art of programming systems product is one of many steps taking a good software engineer to the next level. The Mythical Man Month was first published many years ago, and still the perfect book for this topic. I thought it was no longer relevant in the age of agile and continuous delivery at